Hey, let me do this right here. So, I'm gonna talk to you today. This will be the second episode of the unknown. I don't know how many parts to this series or whatever there will be. But Journey to Greatness. It's really just a video journal chronicling different experiences that I've had since I've pretty much had a revelation that I have to be great. So a part of being great is really just kind of loving who you are. So I am playing in the background. I'm playing Mariah Carey Outside because I just rediscovered this song recently, and the lyrics are beautiful. I used to scream this at the top of my lungs. I used to live in South Carolina, right? I used to be home alone sometimes after school, screaming at the top of my lungs this song. I'm just going to let it play softly, but some of the lyrics are, it's hard to explain. Inherently, it's always been strange, neither here nor there. Just kind of feeling outside. You know, she goes into how she's always felt ambiguous and never felt like she quite fit in with any particular crowd. I can relate to this to the depths and the bones of my being right now. And I'm feeling a really deep sense of loss right now because I truly do feel like I had found someone who kind of identified with that part of me that was just this really sensitive, beautiful soul. And they had that too. And, you know, I kind of felt they were willing to accept me for who I was. And I felt that I was willing to accept them for who they were. But then, you know, life got in the way. And, you know, the connection is not, it's not gone, but it is, as Abraham Hicks would say, pinched off at this time. So much love to that person. Anyway, there's also other people who I feel could kind of appreciate me for who I was, but I don't really feel like they could ever relate to how otherworldly I've always felt. And I've just come to terms and come to peace with a lot of what it means to have a deep connection with somebody and then have it end, or to have it diminish in a way for a certain time. So what I'm realizing is that there's something really, really beautiful about time. There's something beautiful about space. There's something really beautiful about distance. And there's something quite perfect about allowing all of these things to heal, to give you time to think, to let you go within, to make you realize, you know, what you've missed or what you want to gain or what you've learned from every person and every situation that has ever, you know, come across in your life. So that's what I'm doing right now. You know, in the first part of the series, I talked about relationship that had ended, and you have to understand that I kind of went through like 4 or 5 different relationships in 2012 that were of various levels, and you know, that lasted various lengths of time. And some people say relationships never end because you still interact with the person even after you break up or stop having sex with the person, or you know, say goodbye for whatever reason. So I just put my glasses on so I could turn down the music a little bit because it was kind of overpowering my voice, and we don't want that to happen because I'm not going to record this again. But I truly feel the need to express right now. I'm at that week in my cycle that is representative of the springtime energy, ovulation, you know, going out there, you want to put yourself out there, you want to look cute, you know, you want to, you know, you're attracted to men who really look fertile and everything like that. Ovulation is a very beautiful time in the world for me, and you know, therefore anyone around me. So yeah, I'm feeling expressive and stuff right now, but I'm loving it. I'm loving my life, and I wanted to just touch upon, the perfection of letting things be as they are and not trying to force things. Because, for instance, and this kind of ties into the feeling of me feeling, simply very non. I don't feel like I fit in a lot. So in school, I'm kind of a loner. I do interact with people. I do reach out to people. I have people that I interact with, but I don't get too deep with them, which is quite surprising for me, but I don't really see the point, or anybody there who I feel shares my desire to break out from the mold. So I don't, it's not just a trust issue, it's an interest issue. And while I find that people are very valuable for whatever resources they bring to the table, just like I could be a resource to them, I don't feel any strong, deep connections with anybody in particular in that school setting. Interestingly enough, there is someone who I was kind of friends with before school started, and now we don't talk in school at all. And at first it was awkward, and we talked about it, and I don't know if we really came to an understanding on anything, but I literally stopped trying because I said to myself, first I said, screw it, I'm not going to put myself out there anymore for someone who feels dead set on ignoring me or belittling me or making sarcastic remarks about me and my character. But then it was something a little bit more beautiful than that when I truly realized that it's okay. See, what I'm learning over the past several months is that every relationship is different. So it's okay that your relationship or friendship with one person doesn't look like your other relationships with friends or lovers. And it's also okay if it doesn't look like your past relationships with friends or what you know to be a good friendship. And it also doesn't have to look like anybody else's relationship. What I'm learning is that if it hurts, if it doesn't feel good, if it feels like you have to put yourself into this little box in order to function or relate to this person, then it's probably not right. So in my quest for greatness, to be great really just means to self-actualize. It means to be who I truly was meant to be, and that is to be an expansive being. That means if it doesn't feel good, it's probably not the right thing for me to do. Now, I want to differentiate between saying, if it feels good, do it. I would like to say, if it feels like expansive, do it. Because there are some things that may hurt at first that are truly good for you, that you know are going to grow you, and you do them, and they may not necessarily feel good at first. And there are some things that feel good at the time, but they totally shrink you as a being, and they just aren't good ideas. Like, for instance, now I'm addicted to coffee. So I know that I'm hungry and I want something to snack on, and I know fruits and vegetables are really good for me, but I don't have a taste for that. I know there's a lot of other healthy foods out there that I could kind of snack on and everything. And I'm a nuts person. I love walnuts and almonds, and I love raw nuts. So, take from it what you will. But yeah, so basically, I went ahead and said, universe, guide me. So I went to the store and I got some pumpkin seeds and I got some walnuts, and they're so yummy. Like, there's something I could eat right here. Like, I don't have to go to the kitchen and prepare anything. It's just right there for me. So that, along with my tea, I'm good. I don't even need to eat. Most of the time when I come home, I don't even eat. I just feel like I don't need food, and it's really good for me. But I got led to buying those little vials of ginseng. I don't know if they're good for you, but I'm going to try a shot of that in the morning instead of coffee, because I really know that it's not doing anything for me in the long run, and it's expensive. So even though coffee has antioxidants and everything, I just don't feel like it's doing me any good. And the crash that comes from that caffeine high just really isn't good for me. So even though the coffee tastes so good, it's warm, I fix it just the way I like, it's nice and just the perfect amount of sweetness, I know that that's not good for me in the end. So just because it feels good, don't do it. But if it feels expansive, do it. Sometimes doing something that feels expansive goes against what your model and ideal would look like for a particular relationship or whatever. So I'm very grateful to be kind of like exposed to different types of relationships. And I'm also grateful to be exposed to the idea that I myself am the creator of my own reality. And that my life doesn't have to look like yours in order to be good. And everyone can kind of go down their different paths and still end up in a beautiful place. And sometimes you really kind of want to screw things up a bit just to challenge yourself in order to get back to that place that you were already at easily. I mean, I learned that with making my third A on a test that I barely studied for. I said, this is too easy, and I literally just checked out. Now I've fallen behind and I have to kind of work to catch back up, and now all of a sudden, boom, it's a challenge again. Now, I don't know how that plays out in my other areas of life, like relationships, but I've learned that with myself. You know, I might binge on junk food for an entire week, and then I'll have this inner kind of like push to just eat healthy, eat greens, eat some light soups, and like really cut down on all my fried foods and sugars and everything like that. And I don't know, maybe it's just the way I am. A friend told me today, he looked at the last video, Journey to Greatness Part 1. He said, stay with that, stick to it. And I said, why? I don't know what I'm going to stick to. I mean, I personally think that the universe is a much better, planner than I am. And I really think that if I just stay open to feeling good and being expansive, only God knows what's in store for me if I do that. And I don't know what the next year or even the next day holds. There is no way on earth that I would have ever thought that I would be doing or have done some of the crazy things that I've done, but they weren't crazy. And I want to go back to the lyrics of Mariah Carey's song Outside, because she does say, it's such a beautiful line. She says, standing alone, you gotta just believe it's good enough to be what you really are, because in your heart, uncertainty forever lies. And I think that's such a clever word, because instead of saying it lies there, meaning it is there, it literally lies. Anytime you're uncertain about who you are or your worth in this world, it's just some part of you lying to yourself that you could ever not be good enough. So this is where I'm at right now. I'm very, very happy. And no sense of loss, sense of gain, or whatever could change that unless I just continue to gain this full sense of who I am. I have no regrets. I am missing certain people or persons or a person very, very deeply, but it's okay, because every right thing that I've done, because I've never made a mistake, because no one has ever made a mistake, because it's all a journey, has led me to this place. So I have to kind of just be grateful. And that's just another, there's a couple of different points in here. I don't know what the title of this will be, but it's all it's on my journey to greatness. I don't know. So anyway, I just really felt the need to express that extremely. This song just popped back up in my reality after a while, and I used to really just I knew all the words back then, and I used to just scream this song out to the top of my lungs, 2111, you know what I mean? That was the number of the house that I used to live in South Carolina. So I'm just grateful to God, grateful to everyone, grateful to you, grateful to myself. That's it. So yeah, peace out.